the Inquisition.
Do you mean it?
I'm a fair cook and you're a fine leatherworker.
I'm Sister Tanner. May I help you?
And the Inquisition soldiers are the only ones trying to restore order right now. If you want to help.
I found the letter you sent to Templar named Corin.
What? Shit. You can't prove anything. A letter from a rogue Templar. Nobody is going to care. So, what do you intend to do?
For now, nothing.
Fine. Go.
Would that I could.
Of course.
Thank you.
Nothing to report, sir.
Let's look around.
Maybe the rumors about the apostates attacking people were just rumors after all.
Blessings upon the Inquisition.
Have you seen otherwise?
Good day. Good day. Good day.
See? What did I tell you?
Thank you. Do you know what it was?
Yes, sir.
What do you want?
Let's see. Impersonating a sister, smuggling, dishonoring Chantry robes. I can think of more if you like. Or you could put your skills to use for the Inquisition.
And you'd keep quiet? Nobody else has to know?
That will depend on how honest your efforts are on our behalf.
All right. I'm in. Seems like the Inquisition is the safer bet these days.
Wolseley, I presume. A young man named Jimmy would very much like you to return home. Ah, good.
I do not suppose you found my Senna's shrine. I know it is a long way to go.
I cleaned Senna's shrine and placed the flowers. May her...
After all the thank you. Thank you, friend. May your inquisition do as much good for the land as you have done for me.
Good day.
May God be with you.
What do you mean? Blessings upon the Inquisition. Blessings upon the Inquisition.
Lord Wolseley came back! He says you convinced him. Here, for all your trouble.
Oh.
Welcome, agents of the Inquisition. First Enchanter Vivienne?
My dear Fiona, it's been so long since we last spoke. You look dreadful. Are you sleeping well?
What has brought you to Redcliffe?
We're here because of your invitation back in Val Royeaux.
You must be mistaken. I haven't been to Val Royeaux since before the Conclave.
Well, that's very strange. Because someone who looked exactly like you spoke to me in Val Royeaux.
Exactly like me? I suppose it could be magic at work, but why would anyone... Whoever or whatever brought you here? The situation has changed. The Free Mages have already pledged themselves to the service of the Tevinter Imperium.
Fiona, dear, your dementia is showing.
An alliance with Tevinter? Do you not fear all of Thedas turning against you?
As one indenture to a Magister, I no longer have the authority to negotiate with you.
Very well. Who's in charge now?
Welcome, my friends. I apologize for not greeting you earlier.
Agents of the Inquisition, allow me to introduce Magister Girion Alexius.
The Southern Mages are under my command. And you are the survivor, yes? The one from the Fade? Interesting.
I'd like to know more about this alliance between the rebel mages and the Imperium.
Certainly. What specifically do you wish to know?
The Grand Enchanter told me she was indentured to a Magister.
Our Southern brethren have no legal status in the Imperium. As they were not born citizens of Tevinter, they must work for a period of 10 years before gaining full rights. As their protector, I shall oversee their work for the Imperium.
I'm not clear on when exactly you negotiated this arrangement with Fiona.
When the Conclave was destroyed, these poor souls faced the brutality of the Templars, who rushed to attack them. It could only be through divine providence that I arrived when I did.
It was certainly very timely.
What does the Imperium gain from taking rebel mages under its wing?
For the moment, the Southern Mages are a considerable expense. After they are properly trained, they will join our Legion.
You said not all my people would be military. There are children, those not suited.
And one day I'm sure they will all be productive citizens of the Imperium when their debts are paid.
I haven't seen any sign of Redcliffe's Arl or his men.
The Arl of Redcliffe left the village.
Al Tegan did not abandon his lands during the Blight, even when they were under siege.
There were tensions growing. I did not want an incident.
You're quite a long way from Tevinter, Alexius.
Indeed I am, though I have heard you are no Ferelden either. It seems we are both strangers here. Felix, would you send for a scribe, please? Pardon my manners. My son Felix, friends. I am not surprised you're here. Containing the breach is not a feat that many could even attempt. There is no telling how many mages would be needed for such an endeavor. Ambitious indeed.
Does that mean you'll lend your mages to our cause?
There will have to be. Felix.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive my clumsiness, my lady.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, Father.
Come, I'll get your powders. Please excuse me, friends. We will have to continue this another time. Fiona, I require your assistance back at the castle.
I don't mean to trouble everyone.
I shall send word to the Inquisition. We will conclude this business at a later date.
Come to the Chantry. You are in danger.
Wow, aren't we secretive?
careful. But we need to figure out what's going on here.
Of course.
Make a speed, my child.
Good. You're finally here. Now help me close this, would you? Fascinating. How does that work exactly? You don't even know, do you? You just wiggle your fingers and boom. Rift closes.
Who are you?
Ah, getting ahead of myself again, I see. Dorian of House Parvus, most recently of Minrathous. How do you do?
Another Tevinter. Be cautious with this one.
Suspicious friends you have here. Magister Alexius was once my mentor, so my assistance should be valuable, as I'm sure you can imagine.
I was expecting Felix to be here.
I'm sure he's on his way. He was to give you the note, then meet us here after ditching his father.
Are you a Magister?
All right. I know Southerners use the terms interchangeably, but that only makes you sound like barbarians.
Are you the one who sent that note, then?
I am. Someone had to warn you after... Let's... As if by magic, yes? Which is exactly right. To reach Redcliffe, before the Inquisition, Alexius distorted time itself.
I hope that's less dangerous than it sounds.
More. Sue, the magic Alexius is using is wildly unstable, and it's unraveling the world.
You're asking me to take a lot on faith.
I know what I'm talking about. I helped develop this magic. When I was still his... Took you long enough.
My father's joy, and I can tell you one thing. Whatever he's done for them, he's done it to get to you.
Alexius is your father. Why are you working against him?
For the same reason Dorian works against...
It would also be nice if he didn't rip a hole in time. There's already a hole in the sky.
Do you have any suggestions?
Oh,
There are worse things.
This whole business is distasteful. Perhaps we are better off pursuing the Templars instead.
I'd be careful of that.
Have you seen the horses Master Dennett sent the Inquisition? They're magnificent.
Heard you found something that had to do with wardens. Would have liked to have seen it. I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things. You didn't have to take the time to help me. I've great admiration for you, and I've never been more certain in my decision to join you.
I would never have guessed that you admire me.
Of course I do. You have the world at your feet, myself included.
So you take your cue from everyone else? What if they despised me?
If that were to happen, I would reject the world for lacking in good taste. And perhaps we could continue as we are. Now, we should return to our duties before I get too carried away.
You're oddly charming for a man I found wandering the forest.
I always thought myself more odd than... They're hard to come by these days.
Compliments? Or ladies?
So, is there something large and heavy you need moved?
Manual labor in exchange for compliments? Useful.
Well, I'm flattered you'd spend any time with me. I enjoy your company.
I want to hear more about you.
Compared to yours, my life will seem dull indeed.
Your name Blackwall doesn't sound Orlesian. Marcher, then? Ferelden?
I was from the Free Marchers originally. Markham. That was a long time ago. Another life.
I hear that many wardens were once criminals.
You're right. And when you join, your past is forgotten, so let's leave it that way.
What did you do before you became a warden?
I was A soldier, a nobody trained to wield a sword and follow orders. I grew weary of fighting other men's wars.
So you became a warden?
More or less. Becoming a Grey Warden was the first time I felt like I mattered. The life I led before seems hollow in comparison. Perhaps one day it will fade away.
What?
We all need to believe there is... Very well.
Another time, then. Should serve you well. You need something? Let me... Let me know.
A scout in the hinterland saw the herald of Andressa. They just seemed to wait to stop the demon.
I don't understand. What's it with the Chantry now? What's going to happen?
Yes?
I wanted to ask you about the...
Of course. What do you wish to know?
If the Ser...
Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the circle in two. The rebels follow her. The loyalists follow me.
If you...
I could name myself Grand Enchanter. The mages there were quite competitive, but it... safe from the world inside their... across... but when... so long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Did they have...
A war in which we are outnumbered. We would have done better to replace her. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of...
You had granted them power over the very fate...
Apothecary Adon will have more poultices for the injured.
Ah, Lady Trevelyan. May I have a moment?
You are doing...
They destroyed nothing, created nothing.
Yes, Ambassador?
I'd like to discuss your parents.
What would you like to know?
I'd like to dispatch a courier asking the bands of House Trevelyan to align themselves with us. What are your thoughts? Should we approach your family for their formal support of the Inquisition?
My parents are on a first-name basis with most priests in Ostwick, and I have a dozen cousins in the Chantry. When they hear I've been touched by Andraste, you'll have to stop them from giving you money.
I'll take that as a yes.
Why not?
You are from Ostwick. Orlesian nobles consider the free marches somewhat quaint.
Even though I'm a mage?
Besides, Ostwick Circle had a reputation for being rather sedate.
You've never been bored until you...
No wonder the people's faith in Templars has been shaken.
Some seemed all right at first. A smile he...
It's a shame we could not establish ourselves some... I hope you don't find the living conditions in Haven too drastic for someone of your station.
This can't be what you're accustomed to.
Why anyone...
You've brought back some fascinating things. We're putting them to good use. But what... so much of this world is only frightening.
Master Dennett's horses are a fine addition to our stables. I will see they are well tended.
Thank you for coming. Our missing... That's the thing. Their leader. I think their leader's just a boastful little prick who wants to brag he killed you.
I was hoping we could negotiate.
Wait, you're not squeamish about undead, are you?
They're only corpses possessed by spirits.
Right. Nothing to fear.
Word for you.
What is it?
Could prove useful, sir.